Alright, let's start the review. Now, while I'm waiting for people to show up and ask some review questions, I might be playing a little game that I talked about in my last video. A game that is perfect for Halloween. Not because it's Halloween themed, but because the game is just infested with monsters and magic, but mostly monsters. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and it's not even really like a good game necessarily, but it's just, it has a certain charm, and I have like certain memories associated with it, and so it just sticks out in my head. It's one of those games. And so that's probably, the game is called Trackin'. And that's the game that I will be playing and presenting to you today while I wait. How the heck do I get to my own video? My God, come on YouTube, help me, please. Jeez. There used to be like, hey, live stream button right here. And it was that easy. Okay, cool. There we go.
Please, jeez.
Make sure my
there used to be like,
hey, live stream button right here, and it was that easy. I don't hear it.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
there we go. Please, jeez.
Make sure my
there used to be like, hey, live stream button right here.
It's just decap attack. I'm not playing decap attack right now. But whatever. Alright. Anybody here for review? Hello! Anyone home? Okay, well, while I'm waiting, I'm going to put this on the side so that I can see if someone pops in to say hello, bring some questions to me. So this is going to be over here. Where's the... Okay, there's the say something. Alright, so I should see if someone comes here. I'll see something written right there. Screw it. Let's start with a little bit of review. That way at least I got some review out of the way. And let me make a note. How far into the video is this? 1 minute? I've only been recording for a minute? Feels like I've been recording for longer. Oh no, okay, good, yeah, it is longer. It's like 2 minutes, and 2.5 minutes, a good 2.5 minutes, alright. So, let's start with, who's taking the quiz tomorrow? Period 7. Period 7's taking a quiz tomorrow. Period 2 has a little while to go before they take the quiz. Period 1, no, period 3 and 4, they've got a little while before they got to take the quiz. Period 1 has the quiz as well. So period 1, period 7, that is covered right here by this. So let's go over this review sheet. Shrink that. Shrink that. Now I can see my screen. And here we go. Uh-oh. Why is this still showing? Oh, because I paused it. That's why. Duh. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. Yep. There it is. Review sheet. It's up on the thing. Alright. Words. Definitions. Things. Homeostasis. Every class, we've all had to do that. We all need to know what homeostasis is, right? Maintaining a stable internal environment. You'll need to identify examples of homeostasis. So, for example, the weather. It's really cold outside. But if you were to take your body temperature is still in the 90s. That right there is an example of homeostasis. Your body is maintaining its internal environment, even though it's really cold outside. Now, can you do that forever? Of course not. So if you were to stand outside butt naked in 0 degrees, then eventually your body would be like, we can't keep up with the demand. You are now officially starting to freeze to death. Congratulations. Why didn't you put on clothes before you came outside in the 0 degree weather? So, you can't do it forever. But, you will not instantaneously freeze. At least not at 0 degrees. But, if you went even colder, maybe. Feedback loop. Generally speaking, feedback loop. I should have pulled up the notes as well. I don't even know where the notes are. I gotta think. Notes. Notes. Can I get to them from here? Because I have good visuals that I could show. Homeostasis. Oh, by the way, there's feedback loop right there. But I like this as a good example of a feedback loop. Why is that? Well, for a couple of reasons. Oh my god, come back. Okay. A feedback loop, generally speaking, you're going to have some kind of a signal that can be detected. In the case of this example right here, we're talking about a signal that can be detected by your house. The thermometers in your house, the heating system in your house, right? In your body, your system that would detect a signal might be your nervous system. Your brain and your nerves might detect something like temperature. Let me make this bigger, just in case it's too small. I don't know if it is or isn't. It shouldn't be. If I could see it, then that usually means everybody else should be able to see it well, but just in case. So every feedback loop, you're going to have some kind of signal that can be detected, and you're going to have a response to that signal. Signal, response, return. Kind of SRR. Sir. Signal, response, return to normal. Room temperature decreases. Right? Things were getting too hot in this particular house. Rather than take off all your clothes because it's getting hot in here, the heater shut off. Now it's not getting hotter. The room temperature starts to decrease, though, because it is cold outside. Eventually, it gets too cold. If you look down here on the right, it's getting cold in here, so put on all your clothes. No, you don't have to put on tons of clothes either. You could just have the heater turn on. Temperature eventually goes back up. You get back to normal. Gets too hot. Repeat. Stimulus, response, return to normal. Stimulus, response, returns to normal. That's a feedback loop. SRR. Generally speaking, 3 steps. Generally speaking, you're going to look at specific feedback loops, and you might find a complicated tapestry of chemicals and craziness. But we're not worried about that for this. All right, let's see if we have any people that showed up with questions. Nope. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows how to ask any questions. Hierarchical organization. That's the next one I want to touch on because that one's hugely important. It's just the idea that small stuff, as a matter of fact, I'll just have it. Small stuff comprises larger stuff. It's a very simple way of defining it. I mean, if you really want to get technical, you could use a lot of, large words and whatnot. But I don't feel there's a need to. Not for you guys. For the quiz tomorrow, period 1 and 7. Don't worry about being crazy technical. We probably shouldn't use the word stuff, though. I'm being a little too flippant. Small units or parts are used to make up larger structures. Okay? Great example of this. Smaller, oh my god. Dios mío. Smaller stuff, like cells. That's not what I want to do. Larger structures, like tissues, organs, organ systems, etc. And right after that is a question that hits upon that subject matter. If something really small, like an organelle, mitochondria, is not working, why would your entire body be affected? It's like microscopic. Why would it matter if something so tiny has an issue? And so go ahead and read your... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back. Okay, thank you. So let's read our answers. Do 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 do. Okay. And you could even pause the video because I'm going to give you the answer right now. So if you want to see if you can figure it out, pause the video. Once you think you have an answer, then unpause it. The answer is C. All right. They are in every cell. So even though they're tiny, because of the fact that they're in every cell, and because of the fact that your cells make up all the larger structures, that means that the problem is amplified all throughout your body. You've got these cells with an issue. And so you feel it. You're suffering as a result. All right. Now, response and stimuli. One key thing, and I'm not going to ask you a question that really tests you on this. We did look at the pupillary response, right? What does your pupil do when you shine light into it? It changed size. What caused your pupil to change size, right? Light. You shone a light in your eye, everybody saw it. Your pupil shrunk. Went through a whole lab. Everybody seemed to really do a good job on it and understand it, okay? Now, that is not necessarily homeostasis. In fact, it's just a response. You're not actually really maintaining any sort of internal condition. Now, there is a balancing act, however. You are trying to balance the amount of light that's going into your eye. Because if too much light goes into your eye, you could damage your eye. You could hurt your eye cells and hurt the inside of your eye and have trouble seeing. But if not enough light gets in, you can't see. And as we know, vision is pretty important for survival. Detecting if a car is coming at you, or a predator, or if you're about to walk off the side of a cliff. So vision is pretty important. So people, or I should say, living things that were born with the ability to adjust to the amount of light, they were able to see better in more conditions, and so they were able to survive longer and have kids that also could adjust to light. And so pupillary response became a good trait, a good adaptation to have as a result. But anyway, I said all that because of response and stimuli. Because response, some sort of action or reaction. Okay, so the light, the pupil size, was an example of a response. Stimulus is a signal that causes a signal causing a reaction or response. The light was a stimulus. Usually it's something that you could detect with your five senses. So if you could observe it, it's usually a stimuli of some kind. And it's usually going to be able to cause some kind of response. Right? Now, again, you could draw parallels to homeostasis with the pupil stuff. because you are trying to balance the amount of light that goes into the eye, but it's not legitimately homeostasis. It's not an internal condition that you're maintaining necessarily. So just to clear that up. But I'm not going to ask a question to try to trick you on that. There were questions on like the lab that I asked if you could kind of relate the two to one another to justify saying that they're similar. I will probably revise that question in the future because I want it to be a little more clear. You're drawing a parallel, but it's not an exact. That's something I have to change in the future, though. All right. Ooh, key question. Why does your heart need to pump faster when you exercise? This is homeostasis, by the way. You are maintaining internal conditions. There's a whole feedback system for it. There's a signal. There's a response. There's a return to normal. Okay, so this is definitely homeostasis, your heart rate. I lost my train of thought. There's like it looked like a piece of food, but it's just paint on my shorts. So I was like, oh, let me get that piece of food off myself. But no, it's just paint. So why does your heart rate need to go faster when you exercise? Because you're using oxygen more in your cells to get energy. You get this energy by using oxygen in a process. My God, I can't type when I'm like if I'm just not doing this at all, I could type perfectly fine, but when I'm doing this, my concentration lapses, and then I make little typos. So you get this energy by using oxygen in a process called cellular respiration. All your cells have mitochondria. Those mitochondria use oxygen to help create and use energy. So when you're exercising, you're using more energy, which means your cells need to get oxygen fast. But if your heart doesn't pump faster and your red blood cells don't move faster, you don't get that oxygen. You don't get the energy, and you will shut down. So, or you're going to have to use lactic acid, which is that burning you get in your side. That's your body going like, oh man, we are not efficient at getting energy and using oxygen. So this level of exertion that we're not used to, yeah, we're compensating by burning your muscle. But if you work out a couple times, a couple days in a row, you do some good exercise, your body will adjust and you won't be destroying your muscle. So don't panic like, oh my God, I'm killing my muscle. Like, no, it's okay. It's okay. As long as, you just get back into shape and you'll be all right. All right. Anybody here? No, nobody showed up. No questions. Okay. So those are some of the key things for the upcoming quiz that is tomorrow. I will now, you know what, let me check the other review sheets real quick, just to see if there's any big time stuff that I want to go over. Let's make this bigger. Okay, levels of organization. So that's your hierarchy. So this is for period 2 and a little bit for periods 1 and 3 as well. Okay? So if you're starting from the smallest possible thing, I'm just going to type out the first letters. A is for atom. A bunch of atoms put together make a molecule. Put a bunch of molecules together, eventually you could build an organelle, then a cell, tissue, organ system, organism, living thing, population, community, Let's differentiate because we have another C already. Community, ecosystem, biome, biosphere. Okay, so these are our organizational levels from smallest to biggest. Atom and molecule, by the way, that's what we're going to start going over in our next unit. We already touched on organelle and cell. You all literally just did a giant project about organs and organ systems. So we already covered a whole bunch of stuff there. Now we're going even smaller, and we're going to atom and molecule. We already went over this. This should be easy. If someone needs me to go over it, tell me later, or if you pop in later, or throw that question in the comment section and I'll see it later, or we'll go over it tomorrow in class, or whatever. We already went over exercise, by the way. Homeostasis from the pupil pulse. Okay, so we went over that already. Body maintaining homeostasis. Okay, so that's up to you. You have to pick some type of example. Understand that body systems can work together. This is based on your project. All of you had to answer some questions about body systems working together. So you're going to want to use your answers there. And your body systems. So your answers are kind of particular to you for that. Feedback mechanisms, how do they work? Again, well, feedback mechanisms we went over in general. I went over the thermostat earlier in this video. So we saw how they work. Signal, response, return to normal. How do they help maintain homeostasis? A signal will tell you if you have too much or too little of something. The response will bring you back to your normal levels. If you have too much heat, your response, you sweat, it'll bring you back down to a cooler temperature, for example. All right. So this was for period 2, all this stuff over here. I think period 2, I think you have a slightly different version of this review sheet now that I think about it. Slightly different. So if you have questions from that and you pop in, then you could, again, leave a comment or ask me in class tomorrow or something like that. But you got a couple days before your quiz anyway. Okay, period 1 and 3, this one's for you. We just went over this. We went over all of these. Discuss the relationships between each. So that's a little something different, because remember, homeostasis maintained by feedback loops, and a feedback loop is primarily consistent of a signal, a response, and then that returns you to normal. So the relationship is that these are what help you detect changes and bring things back to normal. This is the mechanism for maintaining homeostasis. That's their relationship. Okay, so again, this all relates to your projects. Should be able to do that. You could always ask if you're not sure. Went over this already. Again, we went over that a couple times. And this goes back to like baby Nicole with the issue, because something as small as an organelle is in all of your cells. So that means all of your cells have a problem. And if that problem is big enough and if it's crucial enough, your body's not going to be able to function properly. Alright. No one's in. I'm going to, I guess, play a game. Have some fun. Let's see. So I got this game when I was like 5. I was so scared of this game. I remember my dad was playing. My dad never really played video games, but he played this one because I guess it looked cool. I mean, look at that dragon. Holy crap. It's terrible. history does not look kindly upon this game. I kind of like the story. There used to be dragons in this world, and humans hunted them pretty much to extinction. So the gods were telling humans, like, don't kill the dragons or you're in trouble. The humans didn't listen. So the gods literally remade the entire world. Everything wiped out. And so now there's one world for these Draken, half humans, half dragons. And you got these 4 zones. You got these different Draken princes and princesses that rule these different areas. And so these humans are told, like, listen, it's up to you 4. You need to convince the Drakens to hand over these gems that they have. Otherwise, all of the humans will be destroyed, just like they destroyed all the dragons. And so the humans, it's a fight for survival. There's no kidnapped princess or anything like that. Collect the 8 tiers that are called. They're like little gems. Prince Horde is castleizing before you. Go for! Good luck. Be with you. Would you like a game explanation? I don't know which button is B or A because I'm using a keyboard, so I'm going to hit a button. Let's see if I get it right. Okay, good. I didn't really want explanations. Basics of this game. You can, like, select the weapon from here, or you select, like, to defend, or use some kind of magic. It's too early in the game, so I don't really have anything. Anyway. Oh, I didn't even, there's a character creation thing. It skipped it. I don't know why it skipped it. I must have hit something. But usually it lets you create characters and name them. But I guess I missed it. So, you get this weird, partially 3D view that you guys could see when you're in the overworld. Let's go. Okay. And when you're in the overworld, you get random encounters like the one you just saw with that snake-like creature. So you can turn. It was really unique to see anything resembling 3D the way this was set up at the time. Old school games just didn't really have that. Notice also, it's starting to get darker. In the background, if you watch the sky, the tone of the sky is changing. So this was like one of the only games at the time to have a day-night system as well. And like even a decade later, very few games had day-night systems. So ambitious, really unique game at the time. Like I said, there was a lot of character in this game. There was a lot of charm, which is why I fell in love with this game. So you enter into the first castle, right? It took me forever to figure out what the heck to do. I'm like walking into that, the doors are locked, it's like some kind of force field looking thing. And at this point you're just trying to figure out the buttons. Like, what the heck is this doing? Why is it blue? Why is it red? I don't know. It took me forever to figure out. Oh, okay, you can switch the person that you're moving in this map. Okay, cool, look at that. Eventually, go up to this thing, I'm like, okay, how do you press it? I'm hitting like every button that I could imagine. Nothing's working. Eventually, I go, wait a minute. That looks like someone pushing a button. Get out! Only those with permission may enter here. It's Quasimodo! Jade. I got 238 Jade, which is money in this game. And I got a shirt. It's awesome. I don't have to be naked anymore. By the way, I can't see if a comment comes in, so I should probably shift this over so I can see if I there's also this hand it's grabbing because you can take stuff, and there's an eye so you can see things. Strong energy flows your way. From somewhere you hear a voice. was not the same. Oh my God, he's almost dead. Hermes. Hermes, don't die. I think the skull lets you give them items, weapon, armor, equipment. So obviously, as you collect stuff, you can have them wear it, and some of them. Oh, someone's calling me. They calling me. I have a buckler, I have a shield, so I'm gonna have this dude equip it. Some guys can, some guys can't. Obviously, Hermes, our damaged scout, can't. So you can go 4 different directions. I'm gonna go up, because I know that up is where I'm supposed to go. Also, JonTron, back when he was on Game Grumps, did like an episode of this. Like, he just busted out laughing because JonTron's always like, yeah, yeah, and you could hear this Godzilla creature going, yeah. Which is funny because whenever I would hear him do his noises, I would often think of this game. So when I saw that he was doing an episode on it, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna lose his mind. And he did. It was great. She's Draken Truce. Sometimes you can grab stuff off of these too. But not this one. Look at the, like, you saw, like, you know, some basic stuff like snakes and whatnot. But like you just saw like a Godzilla creature. Now you saw like Godzilla in armor. Oh, there's Godzilla. Just move out of the way. Oh, snap! Get out of there! There's a way to make them not attack. But I forget how to do it. Get in there. You're my hand. Your butt in there. Nope. Oh wait, you know what? Yeah, actually. Yo, Merlin, come on, you're like defense, bro. Stay back. Something stupid. So that right there, that's a good idea. It's like, how do you know? It's like, I don't know. It was brightly colored, so it stands out. Bright red and this dismal poorly lit. So hey, what is? Oh, what did I hit? I don't know why I hit something. So what does this mean when you go blue? Super Saiyan blue? Is that what it is? No. It means that when you go to a different room, you go by yourself. That's it. So I'm by myself. That's all that means. It took me forever to figure that out. Look at that. That music promises nothing but death. When he first appeared, and I hear that music, and the game froze, like I didn't realize he was talking. I was like terrified. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, he's gonna kill me, what's going on? start, you get the map. You can see the 4 different zones. And weird triangles in the middle on our level. Then you've also got multiple inns. There's like 4 on my level here. Dungeon. So obviously you can see I'm standing right by a dungeon, so it tells you the dragon castles are dungeons. And the other dragon castles in the east, you can see all the way on the right. There's the other dragon castle. So now I'm gonna head that way. By the way, how do you know which way you're headed? Well, look at the top right and see that compass is pointing to the east. So that tells me I'm headed directly to the east. Did east. Did east was a I always like the stupid voice that makes me So, little me at the time, just like, oh wow, look at those glowing arrows, what's that about? I instantly regret my decision. It's like, what the hell is that? Oh my god! And wait till you hear the noise that this thing is going to make. Oh my god. Do I have to fight that? And it's like, no, you can tell it's speaking to me. Okay. Even Hortkin's castle is left a pile of rubble. Go east to that intersection. So they're saying that someone's castle got destroyed. I don't know. This is supposed to be a legitimate dragon. That's what this is supposed to be. So something about these arrows, like, calls dragons. Maybe they're like the dragon gods or something. I don't know. I never got like a full explanation in this game. But like cool little stuff like this. That like it's just part of this world. It's world building, you know. I always thought that was so cool. And if you stay in these arrows, then you'll get another one to show up. And there's like a couple different versions of these dragons that can show up. But I got the same one again. Alright, so now it's nighttime. And I hate turning at night. Hate turning at night. And you will probably see why soon enough. So here's another Godzilla clone. This one's in like heavy armor with like gold clothing. You actually get experience in battle. So I just oh snap, I already lost half of it. Oh my god. I lost almost all my people. I'm dying. So I'm just not gonna bother. If you hit L or R, then you can run away from that, which is what I just did. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn. I'm terrified of turning. Oh god. Oh god. Oh. Okay. So there's just a legitimate fire now. This one of the enemies is just legitimate fire. It just chases you. It's so whacked. Like, how'd they come up with this thing? And like the noise it made too, it's like this haunting ghostly noise. Alright, I'm gonna keep turning so that I can show you why I'm terrified of turning. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I can't believe it hasn't happened yet. Oh snap! The sky itself starts freaking out. And then the dialogue box shows up. Like at this point in the game, you're used to like, you know, like something is gonna talk to you. So like, it's so freaky. And like that thing looked like Jason Voorhees to me. Like, it looked like it had the hockey mask. Like it was, you know, Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. And, oh, I died! Godzilla killed me! The Draken Islands spread, and dragons fill the skies. Towns and palaces are raised.
back of my neck would stand up. I was so scared. The night, it's the sky itself, the stars just came alive and attacked me with some crazy flying demon. That happened a little bit too. The other thing that, like, nightmares, and I could not go into my basement, like, ever, as a kid, was because of this thing right here. Look at how fast that thing killed one of my guys. And it's just like screaming, and its head is sticking out of the ground. And I would always imagine that giant panther head just hiding in my basement somewhere whenever I would go. Well, actually, my basement was split in half. There was like a normal part of my basement, but then there was the laundry room, and the laundry room was pitch black. You had to like walk into the laundry room a good like 8 steps, and then reach up and find this little string and pull it in order to turn on the light. So whenever I was in pitch black darkness, which I had to be in order to go into the laundry room, I would always imagine that freaking panther demon head somewhere in my basement ready to kill me. And so I was always scared. Die, spider! No! Alright, forget it. Run away. Run away! You fools. Oh my god. I'm procking enemies like crazy.
dragons, a literal ball of fire, snakes, not on a plane, a lot of creative
remember my characters dying so easily in fight. And I'm the type of video game player where I always have to kill everything. I don't remember going like, oh man, my characters die so easy, but like they're dying so easy Patty. Run away! Alright, where the heck is this castle? Like right on top of me, where is it? Ah, there it is. Time to get the princess. Well, this is Princess Hordkin's castle. Prince Hordkin's troops attacked. Oh! Quickly! This castle was in ruins. That's weird. You are the messenger of Prince Hordkin. He is the brother of Princess Hordkin. Prince Hakin's troops captured Princess Hordkin, but they also captured the human ship and shelter. Please, as quickly as possible, warn Prince Hordkin of this. Got it, bro. Got you, fam. Forever. It's like, for example, so it's like, what's there? What's behind those mountains? And with this world as crazy as it is, with the crazy monsters you have to fight, and dragons and everything, I always wanted to explore more of it. So I went south. Your body condition will allow you to leave this land. If you leave, you will die. So that old dude shows up. Tells you you're not allowed to go south. It's locked. Go south and travel. See, can't go south. Rats! The problem is that I used that teleporter, and I still have half my people dead, so I should actually probably go back to the other side. But like, I always want to know, like, in this world, who put these teleporters here? Like, are they like the leftover remnants of some ancient civilization, some ancient dragons, or all-powerful gods? Like, die again, so I'm gonna save. By the way, this is a game where you can save anytime, anywhere. So I'm using save states, but it really doesn't matter because this game lets you save state anywhere, basically. It's built into the mechanics of the actual game. Sections are like tar or something. Stick it to them so I can know what they're supposed to be. They're just like there. Being all and stuff like everyone else has. Oh snap! Godzilla, not again. Sometimes Godzilla tanks me and then other times he dies in like 2 seconds. Godzilla! I'm pretty sure, like, out of all the people that exist on planet Earth, I gotta be in, like, in terms of, like, people who love this game, I'm probably, like, in the top 10. Like, I didn't buy any paraphernalia or anything like that, but... Oh my god. Please release me, let me go. 'Cause I don't love you anymore. Oh my god. Look at all these tombstones. Oh my god. I can't even imagine walking into this field of just pure death. Devastated. Tired. Beaten. Question I have is like, did Merlin carry all 3 of their bodies across the shoulder? Like, how'd I get all of them to the priest? Yo, Merlin's a tank. Just carrying things. So that's Draken. I don't see any